What is going on, guys? Today I want to talk about my take on the official items tier list. Obviously, this is opinion based, and if you have your own opinion, comment down below. Let's have a discussion. I love talking about it, and I love seeing what other people think. Now, at the beginning of this preseason of season 7, this was the tier list, and I'll have it on I'll have it pop up every now and then. But this was the tier list, and I want to move things around because I've played around 50 games so far of the new season, and all of them have been in ranked, and I think I have a pretty good grasp on what is good, what's been meta, or what's going to be meta, what's really changing, and I think there's going to be a lot of things here that are going to be changing that maybe I overvalued or I definitely undervalued. So first off, S tier. The thing I'm gonna be adding to S tier is armor plating. Armor plating is insanely good. It hard counters like most things in the game, and it's better than Haven in my opinion. Haven obviously counters everything for 18%, but this counters in-hand weapon damage for 24%. Now, most things in the entire game are going to be weapon damage, and every now and then you'll see a full ability-based character, but even then, most damage in this game comes from an in-hand weapon, and I don't think Arcane Warding is really worth the purchase. I don't think it's worth a slot. So armor plating is going to go into S tier. I really think it is extremely strong. I think it's mostly because it's really cheap. 275 for this item is really cheap. I think it should be around 300 to 325, but it is very strong. Definitely an S tier. You're usually going to see about 4 or 5 of them in a game. It's that strong. Going down to A tier, and I don't think Veteran moves. Veteran is very strong, but obviously still has counters with percent health damage. That's about all for it. It's very strong, though. If you are playing a high health target or you just want more safety, go Veteran. It's going to help you out a lot. Rejuve, I don't think moves either. It's still very strong for tanks. Obviously, it did get the price increase, but I don't think that is too much of an issue. It is still very strong, helping you get that increased healing. The only thing that can really combat cauterize. So as a tank, you're usually going to be seeing this on most tanks. There might be a couple that you're not going to buy it, or a few scenarios that you're not going to buy it, but Rejuvenate is still pretty strong. Morale Boost, I'm going to move Morale Boost down to a B tier, to around the middle of B tier. With the new update, I don't think you can really fit Morale Boost in a lot of builds. While I do think it is still very good on a lot of characters that are going to have those really impactful ultimates, you're really going to be seeing this Chronos, armor plating, and maybe something else in your build that you really want. Now, if you can fit Morale Boost in there, it's still very good. Morale Boost is still a really strong item. I just don't think it is at the A tier anymore, whilst being still pretty strong. B tier is obviously still pretty strong, around middle of the pack, but I don't think we're going to be seeing as much in these builds anymore. Nimble's going to be staying in A tier. With the price reduction, I still think it's very good. I don't think it needed that price reduction, but it definitely still helps. When you're playing a character like a Nara or Nyx, really immobile tanks, or you're playing more of a flank, then having that price reduction it's very helpful. Getting those items a bit online quicker, especially with that Rejuvenate nerf. If you're playing someone like Nara, you're usually starting the Nimble Rejuvenate, and so making up with that price decrease or a price increase on Rejuvenate, you're going to be making up for it with a price decrease on Nimble. Unbound is seeing no changes on the tier list. I think Unbound is still fine. It's just old resilience, but without the slows, knockup, and knockbacks. You don't really see too many knockbacks and knockups in this game unless you're playing like against an Azan. But for the most part, you're not going to really be affected by that. Obviously, it still hurts not having those, but I still think it's a very B tier item. If not A tier, if you see a lot of crowd control. But I think for now, it's going to be at B tier. Sentinel. Now, Sentinel, I'm going to be moving down to C tier. I think Trigger Sense is an overall better snowball item, and I don't really think you want to be buying them together. While Trigger Sense allows you to get more damage output, Sentinel just gives you a quick little shield, but it doesn't really do much else. All it does is give you a 450 shield, and right now, with how the meta is, you're seeing a lot of Wrecker, because Guardian is actually quite meta for shield tanks. And so you're not really getting value because Wrecker's in the meta, as it always has been, but it's even more than it has been lately. And so you're actively getting a shield into Wrecker, which I don't think is that good. So I think it just needs either a slight buff or just let it sit for a while, and we'll see how the meta goes with Guardian. But for now, I just don't think it's worth a buy. Master Rating, see no changes. It's still a good item. I would probably put it at the top of B tier, because for those tanks that you're buying Nimble Reju, you're probably going to be wanting to buy Master Rating, and so Master Rating is still good. Top of B tier. Wouldn't say it's amazing, but wouldn't say it's bad either. So just middle of the pack. Arcane Warding. Arcane Warding, I thought going into the season was going to be quite good. 36% reduction on ability damage sounds amazing, but realistically, you're not going to be seeing too much ability damage in the game, and most of it is in-hand weapon damage. So I want to put this at the bottom of B tier. I don't think it's quite C tier, because you're still going to buy it in some games, but I don't think it's quite C tier. I think it's middle of the pack, lower middle of the pack, but you'll see it sometimes. When it gets value, it definitely gets value. When it doesn't, it is just not going to function. It's kind of not worth a slot. But I would say it's a decent item. Wrecker, I'm gonna move up Wrecker up to A tier because we'll talk about Guardian later. And Wrecker, it had its price reduced down to 275, and I think that is very good. I don't think anybody's complaining about this change. While it was meta, it was quite expensive at 300, and I don't think anybody's complaining. I don't think it's a bad change at all. Definitely welcome. Not something we were asking for, but definitely a welcome and good change. Wrecker's always been quite meta, especially when shield tanks are heavy meta, such as Ruckus, Torvald, Fernando, even someone like Nyx. Having that shield can really help them snowball their fights by allowing for an extra shield of protection. So I like seeing that Wrecker's getting a little bit of a buff, and I do think it goes up to A tier. Very strong item. You're usually going to be seeing a few of them a match. Around 2 to 3 is normal. It's a very strong item. Counter shields. Very good. Bloodbath. Now, Bloodbath, I did overestimate. I think it's going down to, like, the middle of C tier. I don't think Bloodbath is good. At max rank, you're only getting a 90 health heal with full cauterize. Not having the anti-cauterize on it makes it honestly not worth the purchase, which is why they actually had to buff it up to 900 heal and a 300 cost. It's not that great, and you're not going to really be seeing it too often, all because of the cauterize effect. I just don't think it really is worth the purchase, and especially if you're only buying the tier 1 of it, you would have to buy this early game, and you would really only get value of it early game. I just don't think it's worth the buy. Life Rip, I think Life Rip is, honestly, I would put it at the top of B tier. You're usually going to be seeing this on a flank, maybe some DP, or like a heavy DPS, damages, but for the most part, you're just going to be seeing this on flanks, and it really does help the flanks. It helps snowball a bit, helps you keep you alive without having to worry about your healer. If you're playing solo queue more, it's definitely going to be a good purchase now, rather than like more of a throw purchase, so I think it's a very solid item. I don't think you're going to be buying it every game, but I think you're going to be seeing it quite a bit more. I don't think it's A tier. I do think it's around middle of the pack, so definitely a solid item. C tier, Def Cans, I don't think is being changed at all. Trigger Scent, though, Honorable Triggers at the bottom of A tier, close to the top of B tier. Definitely one of the best flank items right now. Helps you snowball a lot. Actually outputs so much damage. 15% extra damage for 5 seconds is enough time to wipe the whole team. Especially if you're playing someone like Buck, who I actually think is one of the best flanks right now. You are going to be wiping their team. Or Eevee or Vatu, any of these characters that are just a top 3 flank right now. You are going to be absolutely wiping their team. Trigger Scent is really good for snowballing, and even if you're on defense and you're kind of losing the game, if you get one pick, you can usually snowball that into a few other picks, helping you really stay in the game. Definitely a very solid item. I don't think it needs nerfs, and I think it is perfectly fine, and it rewards flanks for really doing their job. Let's get a pick, and let's go for somebody else. I think it rewards them for their job, and I think it's a very solid item. Maybe a bit of a price increase, but I don't think it's really that big of a deal. 250 is fine, and for what it offers, I think it is perfectly fine. I think it is a very good item. I think you'll be picking this up on most, if not all, flanks right now. Very solid. Horde. Oh my gosh. I think this is my most undervalued item in this entire tier list. Besides Guardian. Horde is absolutely insane, and I probably have bought this in every single game on everybody. From what I found, obviously 3 items is not the greatest, but usually if I'm playing tank, armor plating Vet Chronos, or armor plating Rejuve Chronos, or armor plating Rejuve Nimble, depending on who I play. Horde is amazing. You are gaining so much credits. You just absolutely get your items online so much quicker. It's insane. You buy this first item with whatever other starter item you want, because you can do that now. You can buy guaranteed 2 items if you get Horde. it is such an insanely good item. Just allows you to snowball. Usually you only need around 3 items depending on what character you're playing. You're playing Fink, okay, start with Horde, and then you can go into Trigger Scent, Nimble, and whatever else you need. Obviously you don't need Nimble, but Trigger Scent, and then you need Life Rip, okay, go Life Rip. Do you need Unbound? Go Unbound. Do you need Wrecker over Life Rip? Okay, go Wrecker, Unbound, etc. The list goes on. It's absolutely insane. This item just allows you to snowball no matter where you are in the match, especially if you're on defense and you need this bit of extra gold to really help you out because you're not capping points. Then there you go. You have some more gold. Very cheap too. I would honestly put this at a 200 purchase instead of 150, but it is an absolutely insane item. I love this item, and I honestly think I will be picking it up in almost every single match. There are some matches where you just don't really need it, whether you're going for cheaper item options or you're playing someone who doesn't really need to snowball items, then obviously you're not going to want to get it. Or you need 4 items, obviously you won't get it. But for the most part, you really only need those 3 items. Would 4 items be nice? Yes. But 3 items is still very doable, and I think this item is honestly really fucking good. Next is Guardian. Now, Guardian, I'm going to go ahead and put at the top of B tier. On the tanks that are meta right now, Torvald, I think, is the best off tank in the current moment. You're buying Guardian. Guardian is actually viable for once because it gives you 45% extra effectiveness on your shields. Obviously, tier 2 Wrecker does kind of counter this. But 60% versus 45% is a lot better than 60% and 30% because tier 1 Wrecker countered Guardian completely at tier 3. Now you have to buy tier 2 to even get close to countering it. Obviously it does do more damage than you are effectively dealing or outputting with shields, but it is still very strong. Guardian is very good. Tier 2 Guardian is the same as tier 1 Wrecker, and tier 3 Guardian is going to be in the middle of tier 2 and tier 1. It forces the enemy team to buy a tier 2 Wrecker before they do anything else to really combat Guardian. I think it's very strong, and I think you're going to be seeing it on almost every single shield tank besides like a Nyx or Ashe, people who don't really have other shields, but you're going to be seeing it on a Fernando, Torvald, etc. Whoever you find that you can use this on. I still think it's a good pickup on somebody like Ashe or someone like Barrick also uses it very well. But yeah, I think that was also one of my most undervalued items. Let me know what you guys think of this tier list. I really hope this helps you out. This is going to be my tier list for going into Season 7. I think this is a very good tier list after playing around 50 matches of Ranked, just seeing what everybody's buying, really seeing what's meta, playing with it all myself. I don't think there's any changes to meditation either. I don't think it's good. I really don't think you're buying this any game at all, ever. Even if you're playing someone like Yagroth, just go AP, Veteran, and whatever else you need. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let's discuss it. If you guys have any comments or you disagree with anything, always open to discussing things. Let me know. Leave a sub and a like if you enjoyed, and drop a dislike if you didn't. It actually helps me out. If you don't like the content, drop a dislike. It does help me out. Lets me know you guys don't enjoy it. So I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace out.